One now, live. We're live.
We're live.
Say hi.
Tuesday
Are we live?
Tuesday
We're
night
live. Say live.
We're live, Shaq. I don't give a shit. Okay. Hello. Welcome.
We're live.
So it is Unnecessary Roughness. Hi, how are you doing? We are talking on Tuesday night about rivalry week and all sorts of college football. We didn't do it last night because it's a holiday week, and we're just kind of condensing things a little bit, but it's also the biggest week of the year. So before we get going, High Noon makes a delicious hard seltzer. They've got great flavors. Casey's going to tell you about them.
Yes, I'm excited because I'm about to take Katie's virginity of the tangerine this weekend. Of course, the virginity of the High Noon. She will be with us in Ann Arbor.
You know what you said. You know how you said it.
Well, yeah, I did it on purpose. It's like High Noon product placement. You know what to do. You know what gets the eyeballs. Katie is going to try the tangerine this weekend. We are going to be live for the college football show for Ohio State, Michigan. The El Prez pack, of course, is the one that we push, and it is limited edition, and it has the flavor that's, I think, most people's number one. I haven't met anybody yet that works at Barstool. Obviously, a lot of people who've had High Noon a lot who doesn't have tangerine at least in their top two. Katie, I'll be interested to see what you think, but of course we have all the other flavors too. I've been back on a lime kick recently, and I know lime is usually more of a summer flavor, but the lime and the lemon, underrated, Jack. I know you're a big fan of the lemon. They are underrated.
Lemon is phenomenal. The lime is just your classic, whatever it takes, if it's there, you have it. It's not going to disappoint.
Nope.
It's a 300 hitter, 280 hitter, hitting singles left and right. We love the lime. The lemon's just hitting home runs, though. And then obviously there's all the other flavors. But those are two of my favorite.
Yes. highnoonspirits.com. We always say, like, oh, you know where to find it. But I guess a lot of people are having trouble in different areas of the country finding the new El Prez pack. Go to highnoonspirits.com. They will tell you where to get it. Drizzly, liquor stores, all of those things. Brandon.
Yeah, what?
It's Thanksgiving week. Now, I've been explaining to people who, like throughout the years, and I'm sure you feel this way, everybody feels this way that works in college football. Like Thanksgiving is always fun, but it's not like a normal holiday when you cover football because like you have to work the whole time and you always have to work. And then on top of that, you also have your biggest rivalry game on Thanksgiving. And I grew up that way. It's no longer that way, but it's part of the allure as a fan, as somebody who works in it. It kind of takes away a little bit of it, but you realize like, holy shit, it's Thanksgiving, and I'm thankful that I work in this sport because of how amazing rivalry week is.
Well, yeah, you're right. I do root for a team in a rivalry that still plays, that are not gigantic pussies and ran away from each other like Texas A&M and Texas. So
well, this is the last year you can say that. So get all your knocks in now. Kick the dead dog when they're down because they're playing again next year.
All right. So I have a big game this week. I realized something about my rivalry with Ole Miss, or Mississippi State's rivalry with Ole Miss. A lot of fans say this cliche, which is never true. It's not true for Ole Miss fans, not true for State fans. They say this cliche, yeah, we can go 1-11, but as long as we win that game, it's a good year. No, nobody ever believes that. That's a lie. That is a lie. But the thing about rivalry games is I figured out my relationship to this one. I love beating Ole Miss, but I loathe losing to them more than I like beating them. I fear losing. I abhor losing. Losing hurts me a lot more than winning helps me. And unfortunately, I'm looking dead at a loss Thursday night. Like, that's just the reality. I could sit here and lie and say, old college try, we've got an interim coach. We haven't been very good this year. They're pretty good. They're going to beat us. So I hate everything about this. I hate all of this. I don't even want to be here right now.
Well,
but the second that game is over, I am in full coach search mode, and I'm going out and finding our next guy. And hopefully we do it before Ole Miss hires Lane Kiffin's replacement after he goes to A&M.
I don't think he's going to A&M. It's not a bad take, but coming from – I don't think he is.
He might.
I don't think he is. First of all, I understand your feeling because, it's like everybody likes to say – A&M and Texas are pussies, or like, Oklahoma State, Oklahoma, anytime those rivalries die when there's conference realignment. However, there was an element when A&M was better than Texas. It's like, well, what does Texas have to gain by playing? So if they lose, it's much worse. And then it switched where A&M was the same way. Because I feel the same thing. Like, beating your rival is great. Losing and having to deal with that for an entire year is one of the worst feelings ever. Now, I'm hoping that in the future, A&M and Texas will have college football playoff implications, because that is like makes it even higher and more intense and more meaningful. But I also cannot imagine a rivalry game losing to your most hated rival that also may take you out of the college football playoff. I can't imagine how that must feel. And we're seeing multiple teams this weekend in that scenario. And that
Are you trolling Brandon?
What's happening?
Are you trolling him?
Yeah, I don't even think she knew what she did.
Yeah.
What did I do?
That fucking happened to us.
That happened to Mississippi State.
That's right.
That's God, I see. I can't even.
As you were saying it, I was thinking, is she trolling him? I was like, what's going on here?
I forgot about that. It's been so long. I apologize.
And spoiler alert: Texas and Texas A&M is never going to be for a playoff spot. Okay. Okay.
I forgot about it. Honestly,
everybody's on edge. I can tell everybody's on edge. Y'all got to get off edge.
I was thinking a little bit
Get off edge
of the future. I forgot about 2014.
Okay. I have several questions.
That must be the worst feeling ever. I do apologize. I'm sorry.
I need something to calm me down. Go to the Barstool Sports Store on Friday and on Monday. Monday is Cyber Monday, and Friday is, of course, Black Friday. So many deals on so many great things. I've got this, the Yak crew neck. We've got the book. We've got all kinds of stuff for the Yak. Yes, Chef. She's got that right there. We got Katie with the worst, stupidest shirt we've ever put in the fucking store, but apparently people want to buy it. Jack's hair care products will be available. I don't know what all is going to be available in the store, but check it out. Friday and Monday. Bam.
20% off.
20% off. And
I need this.
From what I understand, in the Chicago, like, you guys will be playing basketball or something leading into the telethon.
Yeah, we're playing a basketball game to 1,000. I'm one of the coaches.
Oh boy. Yeah.
1,000?
1,000, yeah.
The telethon's never going to happen.
And I just stole the first two picks today. I got both Reed Miller and Lance, and I only know Lance from his name.
1,000 points?
It's just not.
Yeah. Is it like 60 points a basket?
There's plenty of. You ever seen a Barstool production? Where we've got plenty of wrinkles.
Okay, so it's like the fantasy football.
It might stop and there'll be a dodgeball game for 200 points or something like that.
I will say that it was the most Chicago and then also Barstool move that Delaney Walker was on the NFL show this week. And, we were in Chicago yesterday to shoot it. And I see he and Will walk in, and then he immediately gets pulled onto the Yak, and I guess missed 19 threes in a row.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we were shooting the show. He was like, I had no idea I was going to be on this show. They were talking about jerking off and playing basketball, and then I had to shoot. And I was like, welcome to the Yak. Welcome to Barstool, because that's just what they do. All
right, here we go. I have two things before we get to the rivalry week, and we're going to start with Ohio State, Michigan. That'll be our first game we talk about. But two little quick news. So Dino Babers fired at Syracuse. Syracuse is now available. I don't even know exactly what kind of coach that's going to attract, but we'll see. Babers is a guy that felt like he got to the hot seat like 3 times and always saved it, always pulled the car out of the ditch, and finally he just couldn't pull the car out of the ditch, and now he is, in fact, without a job. But more down the SEC, a job we thought might come open, the Arkansas AD the other night said, nope, they are sticking with Sam Pittman for another year, which proves that Arkansas, not only the dumbest fan base in America, but the dumbest administration, because they are bringing back a terrible coach who cannot get the job done, and they're just going to waste another year.
Do you think it's because A&M and Mississippi State are open?
No, because
do you think that they thought, like, I'm not saying it's a good excuse, but maybe they're like, well, 2 other jobs in the division are open. We're not going to try to enter that pool right now.
I believe the last time they hired Pittman, there were like 4 jobs open. I know we were open when they hired. We hired Mike Leach. They hired Sam Pittman, Lane Kiffin, and Ole Miss. They were open at the same time. I think South Carolina might have been open. Like, there's been plenty of openings. I don't think they would fear that, because I think there's guys out there they could get, like Rhett Lashley, they could get tomorrow. So I think they're just really stupid.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, now no dilly-dallying, okay?
Well, did you read our group text?
No.
Of course not. I have a take for you that I think you're going to hate.
Is it about the Ohio State-Michigan game?
It's about rivalry week in general.
Well, let's talk about Ohio State-Michigan, then you can give it to me.
Okay, and then I also have a little bit of a Thanksgiving either or like we did for Halloween at the end. It won't be as long, so obviously we have to preview games. But I do have a take about rivalry week that I want to get into.
Okay. All right, so here we go. My question is this. Ohio State against Michigan. First, a statement. I think it's the most anticipated game of my lifetime. There have been some big ones. Notre Dame, Florida State, 93 was 1 versus 2. There's been some 1 versus 2. Ohio State, Michigan, 2006. That one was kind of fake, though, because both those teams are going to get blasted by Florida. But this one is very real. And my question is this. I know the answer is one side, but which side has the most pressure? Now, the answer is probably Michigan because of the cheating scandal and Harbaugh being out and everything, them not looking that good last week. The answer is probably Michigan. They're also at home, but I feel like Ohio State has a tremendous amount of pressure as well. They've lost 2 in a row, and losing 3 in a row, Ryan Day losing 3 in a row would be a big, big, big deal in Columbus, Ohio. Now, if they win this game, you can say, see, they stopped cheating and we beat them. Those 2 wins never mattered. However, if Ohio State loses after the cheating was exposed and everything was kind of rooted out of there, if Ohio State loses, there's no excuse. They're just better than you. So I think while the most pressure is on Michigan, I think there's also a tremendous amount of pressure on Ohio State. What do you guys think? Where do you think the pressure lies in this?
I think that if Jim Harbaugh had not been suspended and was on the sideline, I would say it leans Michigan. However, after Ohio State, allegedly was behind some of this, whether you believe that
No. We're not believing that propaganda.
Okay, then fine.
We're not believing it. Hold on. When Michigan fans do that, Ryan Day did this, Ryan Day did that. No, you fucking cheated.
Okay, well then take that out of it.
Okay.
When you don't have your head coach on the sideline, now I understand he can be there throughout the week, but that is a major challenge to get over when you don't have your head coach on the sideline. I don't care what team you are. So if Ryan Day loses to Michigan without Jim Harbaugh on the sidelines, I think that looks much worse than if they were to beat Michigan with Jim Harbaugh on the sideline. Does that make sense?
So somebody in the chat said the team with the most pressure is Michigan. The coach with the most pressure is Ryan Day. That's probably the best way to put it.
I like that because I think that Michigan it's the first time they've been favored in a long time. I don't know exactly how many years, but it's definitely, maybe 6-7 years?
Yeah.
Favored at home, all the cheating scandal. But Ryan Day, and people have, last year, people were like, he should be fired. You don't lose to Michigan 2 times in a row. It's like, no, he made the college football playoff. We talk about being born on third base. And it's like, if you can't beat Michigan, then that's all they care about. So I think I love that answer. Michigan as a team, Ryan Day as a coach, but I do think that Jim Harbaugh not being on the sidelines puts a lot more pressure on Ohio State. I do think that.
Yes, Katie.
We have some breaking news. I'm interested to see if you think this is relevant. So the college football playoffs just came out.
Yeah.
Georgia 1, Ohio State 2, Michigan 3, Washington 4, Florida State is 5.
Okay. You got the injury to Jordan Travis, but I was looking at this weekend, and I saw Washington fans, and they were making a good point. Nobody's got a better resume than Washington. Nobody in the country has a better resume than Washington. They've beaten Oregon. They just beat Oregon State on the road. They have a really good resume. By the way, they beat Arizona, who's good. Like, Washington has a terrific resume. Washington has a better resume than Florida State. They just do. It just took till now to really realize it. And it took the Jordan Travis injury to make the committee go, duh, it's staring us right in the face. That being said, everybody in the world thinks Washington's going to lose to Oregon. So I think that's what was holding them back in the first place. But I think Washington probably belonged over Florida State before this week. It's just the injury took place and kind of forced the committee's hand.
And also they know that Ohio State and Michigan are going to figure themselves out in just a few days. So the rankings itself, yes, it's important that Washington jumped Florida State. but Michigan or Ohio State's going to lose.
Somebody
So-
says Ohio State has a better resume than Washington. I think I disagree with that. Ohio State beat Penn State, which is a solid win. Notre Dame, which is a solid win. I think Washington, the Oregon win is one of the best wins in the country, one of the best 3 wins in the country. You have the Oregon State win on the road. You have the Arizona win, which is aging like fine wine. I think Washington has the best resume in the country.
I would agree with that. And then if you look towards the Pac-12 championship, assuming that Oregon beats Oregon State on Friday, which I believe is going to happen, whoever wins the Pac-12 has the best resume in the country, in my opinion.
I don't know that Oregon would.
If they beat Washington, well, I guess they had the.
That's all they would have. Like they don't have much
Georgia.
outside of that. Like they beat Utah is not very good. I think Washington's resume is really, really fucking good. I don't know. Oregon beating Washington obviously puts them in the top 4. I'm not disputing that, but I don't think it makes their resume that great. Yeah.
If Georgia beats Alabama, then that resume obviously skyrockets.
Yeah, it goes up. Sure. Yes,
What just
Katie.
happened?
What just happened? What? You have a thumbs up? How'd you have a thumbs up bubble?
I literally did a thumbs up and then it bubbled a thumbs up. That was creepy and weird.
To go back 1 second, if you said Washington is the best resume, wouldn't beating the team with the best resume give you a massive bump?
No, you don't get their resume.
I know, but it still it makes a win more impressive. Like that's gotta be
beating Washington would be an incredible win for Oregon, and Oregon would be in the top 4. I'm not disputing that. I just think, like Chris says, Washington almost lost to Arizona. Yeah, Arizona's really fucking good.
They are very good.
Y'all got to start realizing that they're going to finish 9-3 with 2 overtime losses and a 7-point loss to Washington. Arizona's fucking good.
Arizona, I mean, again, I said this a million times. We'll talk about the game. Oregon's going to beat Oregon State. But if Oregon State beats Oregon, Arizona's playing in the Pac-12 championship. That's how good they are. Like, they have to have one thing fall their way, but they have been good enough to solidify that 3rd spot right there. I mean, it's 2A and 2B for the Pac-12 championship.
I think Oregon's strength of their profile is not really their resume per se. It's just the fact that they've just been beating the shit out of everybody they have played.
Yes.
They've just looked really fucking impressive against everybody. Outside of the loss to Washington, they've just fucking dominated.
Well, and that's goes back to what I said on Saturday night. Then I truly believe it. It's like there are 3 teams right now playing at a different level than I think most other ones, and it's Georgia, Alabama, and Oregon.
Oregon's really not played anybody though.
Are you wearing?
I'm not saying they.
Can we talk about what you're wearing, Jack? What is that?
It's a Georgia quarter zip.
Where'd you get a Georgia quarter zip?
I got it sent to me like a year or so ago.
Are you in Kirby Smart's podcast?
I've always been a Georgia guy. Like when you guys, I'm openly Georgia. Like I was the biggest Kirby Smart supporter ever. That's now people don't talk about.
You were that.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I've got Oregon, and this isn't against them. And we're talking about resumes for 2 teams that Oregon. I mean, Oregon could beat Washington and not make the playoff. But if Washington wins out, it doesn't matter. But Oregon's, I think I agree with you, Casey. They're that 3rd team. Well, we haven't seen them when we have seen them tested. They did everything to lose. You know what I mean? They really should have won that Washington game and they lost. I know it was very close. There's still some doubt with Oregon. I have the doubt with Oregon that I thought I was going to have with Georgia, but Georgia's schedule turned out to be a little bit more tougher than we thought. And they've really taken care of business in this later slot of the schedule.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that part.
All right. So Ohio State, Michigan is this weekend. Probably going to settle around a 3-point spread, like 2.5, 3.
It's 3.5 right now, right?
It's around 3.5. I think as we get towards kickoff, it'll go towards Ohio State a little bit. I don't think it'll go towards them a lot, but I think it'll go towards them a little bit. How do we attack this game? How do we attack this game? Because clearly I'm not going to surprise anybody by saying I think Ohio State's a better team. By saying Ohio State, the Michigan leaned on a really bad schedule, and once it got tough, they started showing little cracks, and they've got all the off-the-field distractions. So I think Ohio State is the better team. I think they're going to win the game. You two, I'm going to guess, think Michigan is going to win. Casey?
I do, yes. I think Michigan is going to win. I'm very interested to see offensively what Michigan's going to look like. I know the last 2 weeks, obviously, JJ McCarthy did not look good last week. He didn't have to throw the ball against Penn State. I also am interested to see Ohio. Kyle McCord is not bad whatsoever. They have Marvin Harrison Jr., who's one of the best players in the country. But it's going to come down to which defense is better, in my opinion, because the defense is strong for Michigan. The defense is strong for Ohio State. And both of these quarterbacks we've seen struggle. Now, J.J. McCarthy has played longer. J.J. McCarthy, we don't have to get into that whole argument. Obviously, did not play well in the college football playoff last year. But when he played against Ohio State last year, he looked really good. And they did let him throw the ball. They let him air it out. They opened up the playbook. Can Ohio State just say, hey, Kyle, you don't have to do too much. Just get the ball to Marvin Harrison Jr. and let him do his thing. It's going to come down to which defense can stop that, in my opinion.
Well, I think the one bet that I will assuredly make is the under. I think the defenses will run this game. I think you're looking – this could be like 10-7. I think the defenses are going to be the story of this game. I think Ohio State's defense is one of the best in the country. I think Michigan's defense is one of the best in the country. So, and I don't really have a whole lot of respect for either quarterback. But Ohio State has a lot better weapons outside than Michigan does. Yes, Jack.
I'll be rolling with Michigan at home. I think Michigan's defense is slightly better than Ohio State's, and I don't know if we can really say Ohio State's offense is better than Michigan's offense.
I don't think I did.
I know.
Marvin Harrison Jr. is better, but
that wasn't me saying that to you, just in general. Marvin Harrison Jr. is the best player in the game. Kyle McCord has played in big games, but JJ's definitely played in bigger games. And his biggest game, he didn't play great. So that is against him. But I think JJ McCarthy has more ways to win the game. McCord isn't much of a runner at all. And I think that's another element that could. But am I confident in this? Yeah, I think they're going to win. I think they're going to win by 4 to 7 points.
It can't be ignored that JJ's best game of his career was in this game last year against Ohio State. When, probably a coincidence, Michigan knew exactly when to dial up play action at the right time every single time. It was crazy how well they were coached in that game, because every time they threw a play action pass, it was wide open. He threw easy touchdowns. I don't know how they knew, but by God, they did a great job coaching.
Some of the if you watch the replays, it was almost as if Ohio State knew exactly when Michigan was going to run the ball and exactly what hole they were going to run it in, and I
must be misremembering that part, because I saw some holes that you could have driven a Mack truck through.
Oh no, that's revisionist history. Donovan Edwards, you should watch his 2 long runs. It was almost like it was almost like JJ McCarthy went into Ohio State's huddle and said, "Hey, here's the play," and then their good versus Michigan's good was not good enough. Now the defense is a little bit better. Let's not act like Michigan was the only team that had.
Here goes Jack.
Go, Jack. Cook, Jack.
Michigan. Jack is absolutely buying the Michigan propaganda. Michigan is pushed up against the wall. They start fighting. They start throwing everything out there. Well, actually, they were cheating too, and they were cheating too, and they were cheating too. And Jack's just lapping it up like Portnoy. Yay. No, we have evidence of Connor Stallion standing there and saying, hey, doing this shit, jacking his ear off. Like, Michigan was cheating, all right? Don't throw it back on Ohio State.
I'm not saying that Ohio State did. No, I actually am. Ohio State had the signs.
Yeah, you are saying that. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm saying that. And so does almost everybody.
The Big Ten game last year, we had evidence that Michigan and Rutgers gave Purdue Michigan signs.
Yeah, Greg can't win a big game. Schiano was given the signs to Ohio State, who he used to work for, and then they gave it to Purdue. Let's not forget that either. Now, I don't want to get too bogged down in what makes this the greatest game in the history of regular season college football. But I do agree with you, Brennan. There may be time in this game in the third quarter when we're looking around and saying, oh, man, did this live up to the hype? But that's because we look at defensive, battles kind of in not the most positive light. As
negative. Like Ohio State, Penn State was a defensive battle. People act like both teams suck. My big question in this game is, Sharon Moore's play calling over the last 2 weeks, was that on purpose, or is he just a pussy without Jim Harbaugh? Because if it's on purpose, then they're coming out guns a-blazing this week if he's just a pussy without Jim Harbaugh, then they're going to run a game plan that's going to be easy for Ohio State to stop.
This is like the lamest answer ever, but we're just going to have to wait and see, because I don't think you can make an argument with actual facts either way. Cause it's like, is it that hard to believe that they've been being super conservative and they know, again, that they only needed to do a certain amount of things to win those games, but then also like they could have easily lost last weekend. They could have easily lost to Penn State as well. So I don't know. I do think that having Jim Harbaugh at practice every single week, every single day this week is obviously going to help figure that out. But I mean, we'll see. We will be watching the game in a little house outside of the big house. We'll be right there. So we will see.
Did you see Jim Harbaugh's incredible joke?
Yeah, but that was a Ted Lasso reference.
Oh, he stole that too. Yeah, that makes sense.
Brandon, I was going to ask you, I know that the Buckeye Brandon thing is like a Dave, whatever. Like, are you going to play, like, you can tell us, quietly, we don't have to, between the four of us, are you going to play into that? Like when we go to Ann Arbor, or what's your game plan here? Oh, no. Oh God.
What is going on?
What the fuck do you think?
I texted him the other day and was like, hey, if you want to go full, and he has not responded, was like, do you want to go full heel? I will get you.
Whoa, Katie, I texted you yesterday and said, send me this shirt.
Okay, yeah, in the group, but I'm saying like the thumbnail for the college football show, how it was like draped. I was gonna get you every single piece of merch and come out there like one of those super fans. I think that'd be really funny.
It's a weird spot.
That's why I'm
called Buckeye Brandon.
How far are we taking this?
Yeah. I'm called Buckeye Brandon because Dave Portnoy is a goddamn idiot, and he's just fucking stupid. All right, that's why I'm called Buckeye Brandon. I don't want to take away from the actual Ohio State fan, Big Ev, who's going to be there. And if Ohio State wins, that's his win. That's not my win. That's his win. But because Dave's so goddamn stupid, I've been roped into it. And fine, I'll play along if y'all want me to. I don't give a fuck about Ohio State. I don't give a fuck about Michigan. Michigan's cheating though, so I'm going to point it out.
The reason I was asking was because I thought, the thumbnail for the college football show last week where they photoshopped like the Ohio State colors on your face, like in my head, I'm like, if he's going full heel, and I do agree with you, because like Big Ev actually like is emotionally connected to this game and very much cares. And you don't want to take away from that. But if you were going to go full heel because of just all the shit that you've been given for liking Ohio State, which, by the way, I understand because everybody gives me shit for liking Michigan. I'm going to be completely honest. At the end of the day, I don't care who wins this game. Like, I'm going to bet on Michigan and I'm going to root for Michigan.
Wow.
But if Michigan loses, you think I give a fuck?
Well,
No, Michigan.
Hold on, Casey. You've been riding Michigan for several years now.
That's fair, but like, you think I'm emotionally tied to that? If they lose, I will sleep just fine if Ohio State beats Michigan.
I'm with you there.
You will sleep just fine if Michigan beats Ohio State. Michigan
winning, it would be massive for Barstool Sports.
That is true.
And I'm not saying how. Oh yeah. My God.
The big money for Dave Portnoy.
The money that would come in.
But let's be honest. I mean, he is the money to Barstool. It's not like he takes all of it personally. I mean, he employs us.
If Ohio State wins, though, I make a lot.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's 100%.
Wait a minute. Are we going to get more advertisements because Michigan won this game? Like, I'm not.
No.
The Patriots I'm saying the Super Bowl. Like, it's that way with all these teams. It's
this is this game. Michigan ain't going to win the fucking national title. They're not going to beat Georgia.
They'd be 2 games away.
They were last year, and they lost to TCU. It was terrible.
Yeah, but this year it's personal. It's a personal vendetta, and I'll say it. I will say it loud and clear. And I want people to zoom in on me. I want you to clip this, Katie. Write down Mark 2847. If Michigan beats Ohio State and then wins the national championship, it is the most pure, clean national championship in the history of sports.
Do you want me to get you a towel?
Not just
to wipe your face off? Do you want me to get you a towel?
It's not just in the Michigan's history or national championship history. It is in the history of sports. They have ran a complete and utter just campaign against Michigan of a small little violation got turned into the biggest story in the history of the sport. And now their coach was suspended, and I want them to do it. It would be the greatest story in the history of college football for sure. But I don't know. Sports in general, probably. It's up there with Tiger coming back and winning the Masters. It's up there.
Are you angling for a raise? Do you?
No. You have to remember, Brandon, you go in my TikTok comment section right now, they're calling me Buckeye Jack Mac. Somebody's like, you're just like Buckeye Brandon. I've been labeled both sides. I don't really care. But I will say I'm telling the truth.
Yes, we all know that any national title won where your head coach misses half the goddamn games for cheating is the most pure national title of all time. That makes a lot of sense.
It's his opinion.
But it's wrong. It's wrong. I can disagree with him. It's wrong. He has a wrong opinion.
Oh, I actually the metal's like in the middle of your face. It's like I can barely see.
I don't even know. It's not even on. I don't even know why I use it. Just
all right.
It's a fake microphone.
Nothing. Doesn't work.
You just want to appear
I
like
spent
you're
$300 for it and didn't know how to plug it in.
You just want to appear like you have a better setup.
It looks
I
great.
forgot to plug mine in just before that. If it makes you feel better.
I do want to say, my opinion is right.
You just said what you wanted to say. That's the problem.
You called my opinion wrong. My opinion was right. There's no cheating. There's no chance they're cheating now. The other teams are cheating. We know that. We know that. Now Michigan's not allowed to cheat.
Is this like a Freaky Friday situation? Is Dave Portnoy in your body right now?
What? I don't even know what Dave says. I'm sorry. I don't know what he says. I don't listen to
exactly what you're saying right now. He says exactly what you're saying right now.
It would be the purest win
ever.
Are
you going to go on an anti-business insider rant in a minute?
Well, I mean, I can't believe you're agreeing with them.
I'm not. I'm just saying. Are you? I think you're Dave Portnoy right now. I think
I'm not Dave Portnoy. That's a fact. What I said.
Do we not think though that there's some of the pre-knowledge from earlier in the season that's still in their heads? Like they were cheating at 100%. I still think like 20% that knowledge is in there somewhere.
Here's the thing. Everyone does it, so it's not even cheating. It's just like here's like a little secret. Like their 1,000 wins. It's fake. It's not real.
Okay. Everyone cheats. Everyone does it. Oh, it's not a big deal. How's it a big deal? So why are they firing coaches for destroying evidence? Why are they destroying evidence at all?
Well,
it did make it a little bit more suspect that they just fired him out of nowhere.
Everyone cheats on their taxes. If the IRS shows up at my door, I get a little nervous. Yeah, because I probably violated terms. And he destroyed the evidence. He destroyed the evidence after he learned about everything. It was by a low-level staffer. They fired a linebackers coach. Let's not act like it.
Everybody's low level. The only ones that knew about it were low level. They just happened to be standing right by the high level guys and signaling to them. That's all.
Here's a perfect time for me to insert my hot take. And I actually, now the way that you've been talking, Brandon, I don't think you're going to hate this at all. In fact, I think you're going to agree with me. You and I have talked for a long time. We're from this. I'm from Texas. You're from the South. We obviously are in the SEC. Auburn, Alabama is usually the most heated rivalry in the country. And people across the country are like, oh, well, Ohio State, Michigan. I know you have said you don't think it's that heated in comparison to the Iron Bowl. I've said before, the Iron Bowl, they shoot each other. That is a true fact. I think that what has happened this year has created the situation where Ohio State, Michigan is now the most heated rivalry in the country and will be for the next decade over the Iron Bowl.
I think in a 1-year snapshot, sure, I'll give it to you. But no, they would need to do this 2 decades in a row to match the energy of the Iron Bowl or even the Egg Bowl. They really would. This is a heated rivalry. And right now it's the most heated it has ever been. Alabama, Auburn people shoot each other. They poison their trees. They will not visit. Like there's Alabama grandparents that wouldn't go watch their sons play at Auburn because he was at Auburn. Like there's a level of stupidity and hatred there. That mixture, you'll never match that at Michigan. Michigan's too good of a school. So you'll never match that. To me, this is heated now, but no, I don't think I can put it in there with the Iron Bowl.
So this is where I feel like I'm going to get myself in a little bit of trouble, but you just said it. The stupidity of the Iron Bowl and what people do Like they've shot their own family members because they're not upset enough about losing to Auburn or Alabama. The stupidity will always be higher. The level of intelligence in this Ohio State, Michigan.
Casey, I think hate is directly linked to stupidity.
That's okay. That's fair. But I mean, we're talking about like the Connor Stallion story. And maybe you're saying just in a snapshot, that's fine. But the Connor Stallion story and the way that this is all linked, and like we've got Michigan fans boycotting ESPN because Pete Thamel was on, like, this to me is like everything rests on this game. They don't even care about the playoff. Alabama, and by the way, I was going to ask you, do you know the record of the Iron Bowl? It's so much closer than I thought it was. I looked it up.
I don't know.
I thought Alabama would be like leaps and bounds above. It's like 49-37-1. But Alabama
is like 49-37-1.
There you go. You got that. At least, like, you know, we had the kick six, which to me is one of the most iconic plays in college football history. We have these moments, but it's all like every year it's like, okay, if Alabama wins, then that's all Auburn thinks about. This Ohio State Michigan rivalry is now like a Big Ten problem. It's like a college football problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are you upset about now?
I don't know. Oh, to the chat saying there's a fight between the YKB boys. No. This is just good heated talk right here. This is just good old fashioned fun. The
also,
YKB boys are thick.
Like, champions spar all the time.
Yeah.
Like, they come into the gym and they fight, and then they say, "Great job."
Iron sharpens iron, brother. Iron sharpens iron.
I just got better. Like, that's what we say to each other, and then we roll. Here's the thing. We'll come together when needed. Let's not forget, we literally saved Clemson football.
We really did.
And then we told Dabo, slow down. Like we left. You know,
saved Dabo's job.
We really did.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's talk about some other rivalry games because y'all be on some bullshit.
I do love that we say, like, oh, you know, the Iron Bowl is going to be bigger. And I'm not disagreeing with like the stupidity, but like the Iron Bowl, Auburn is horrible. Auburn is so bad. And
this year, but you can't take a 1-year snapshot of a rivalry like that. I don't think.
No, I still think obviously it's like you can make the argument like 1A, 1B, but I think that what is happening between Ohio State and Michigan this year does catapult it because of how much is going on. Like, again, it affects everybody. But
like if you ask me which one's the most heated in this season, I would say that one. I would say Ohio State, Michigan, but it doesn't replace it on the whole. Yes, Katie.
Before we get too far, I just want official. So it's the spread's 3. Who do people have covering, or just straight up?
Don't throw us back into this. I got Ohio State. Those two have Michigan. They're idiots. Who do you have?
Yeah, Katie. Who do you have?
I have no fucking clue right now. I genuinely. That's why I didn't butt in and say ask me. I have genuinely no idea. I've talked my way every way since Wednesday. Like I do feel confident in the under. I have zero confidence in either quarterback. There's so many what ifs in my head. I'll tweet something out once I have an idea. I have no fucking clue what's gonna happen.
All right. Before we go any further, the holidays right around the corner. That can mean a lot of things. You know what it means to me? Food. Yes. Food. The holidays right around the corner. HelloFresh can help take the stress out of dinner by delivering everything you need to cook up tasty meals right to your door. They save you tons of time. They save you money. They save you pretty much everything. There's a box right there. There's Casey Smith's box. The holiday season can be hectic, and that's where HelloFresh's 15-minute meals come in. These quick fixes help you get a wholesome meal on the table in less time than it takes to get delivery. Everyone wants to cut back on errands and spending time in checkout lines this time of year. You know what? Let's talk about HelloFresh, Casey.
Yeah, I want to believe that you did that on purpose because I don't believe that you would be that stupid. But, you know, you're an SEC fan. We're all stupid. I am making right now, I don't know which way I can lean. Right now I am making this chili. Brandon, I know you're a big chili fan, and you guys make it in the Walker household. The chili that I am making has fresh jalapenos in it. It has fresh tomatoes in it, fresh onions, ground turkey. It has a bunch of different seasonings, and HelloFresh did it all for me. It's just the only thing I had to do was chop up the very fresh produce, mix it all together, simmer it, let the turkey cook. I did turkey in mine, ground turkey. I know I did ground turkey. I try to be a little bit healthier.
Hey, you do you.
But HelloFresh gives you the option of any type of meat that you want to put in that chili. I'm making it right now. It's amazing. Like Brandon said, around the holidays, you know the big meals that are coming. You prepare for the other days. You do still have to eat. HelloFresh makes it much easier. You can go on and you can pick your menu. It's cold and rainy. It was like 35 and raining today. Perfect day for me to make the chili. And as soon as we get off, I will be housing a big bowl of it, Brandon, as fast as possible.
In case you missed it, HelloFresh is so much more than delicious dinners. They can help you take the hassle out of every mealtime occasion with easy breakfast, quick lunches, and snacks, all delivered with your weekly box. Go to HelloFresh.com/WalkerFree. Use code WalkerFree for free breakfast for life. That's pretty good. One breakfast item per box while subscription is active. That's free breakfast for life at HelloFresh.com/WalkerFree with code WalkerFree. All right. There are more rivalry games outside of Ohio State, Michigan, although that is the most important one this weekend. Ole Miss State, we're going to lose. Just going to get ahead of that right now. We're going to lose. As soon as that game's over, I shake Ben Mentz's hand and get him the fuck out of my house, and then I start finding our next coach. So,
can I ask how that became a thing?
How he got hired? Because once again, Dave Portnoy, fucking dumbass, decided to see if lightning would strike twice. He once hired a hard worker from Mississippi. He got lucky, tried to do it again, and went 1 for 2. So he's batting 500 on the Mississippians. That's why I got that fat piece of shit in my living room this week. Although I guess I am fatter than him at this point. What else?
I just didn't know. I mean, you're inviting him into your safe space.
You hold your weight so much better, though.
I do. I really do. I'm probably the skinniest guy that gets called fat a lot.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. I would never label you as fat.
No. Ugly? Sure.
Big dude. You're just a big guy.
You're a big guy. Like, I would never call you fat.
Yeah, I'm big boy. There's a couple games that are interesting here. Florida State, Florida. Let's just be honest. This is an all-time break for Florida. They're not very good. They got a bad coach. If they lose this game, they're going to go 5-7. However, like manna from heaven, the injury gods smiled upon the Florida Gators. They now get to play Florida State, not at full strength. Yes.
Graham Mertz isn't playing.
Graham Mertz is out too.
Oh no, Graham Mertz isn't playing.
He's been good this year.
We're talking about Jordan Travis against Graham Mertz.
Well, no, but
you are right.
But not having a starting quarterback is not.
I will say this freshman that they have in, he fits the bill of a guy that would just runs around. Maybe just has a magical game. I don't know. Maybe I'm just convincing myself.
So somebody just reached into Florida State's pocket, took out $500 bills. Somebody reached into Florida's pocket, took out 5 dimes, and we're going to act like those are the same amount of money? No, that's not the same thing. We've got one team losing a Heisman Trophy caliber quarterback, one team losing a very mediocre quarterback. I would take that all day if I'm Florida.
Yeah.
Tate Rodemaker is also not like he has some experience. He's not some like complete dud.
Isn't he the next guy up?
He's young. He played pretty well against Mizzou. We'll see.
Did y'all just make a bet to just go against anything I said today?
No, Brandon, you are 100% right that losing Jordan Travis is a much bigger loss than losing Graham Mertz when you put them in their own little worlds. However, Florida not having their starting quarterback who has played, he's not been fantastic. No, he's not Jordan Travis or anywhere near the level, but Graham Mertz, he got hurt in the third quarter, I believe, against Missouri, but he was playing really well against a very good Missouri team.
And he has that hot girlfriend. So, you got to cap that in there.
There we go.
Of course. Losing your starting quarterback going into a rivalry game, I don't care if it's your Heisman caliber quarterback or not, it's going to suck.
Yeah. Florida's still getting a huge break here. And they're at home. I think Florida State's probably so much better at every other position, it's not going to matter. I do think it's probably close now. But Florida loses this. They finished year 2, 5-7. That ain't good. That ain't good at all. That's actually bad.
That is bad. And especially for a team that was so high on Billy Napier coming in and changing the culture and, all of that. Do they make – I don't know. What do you do, though? You can't fire him yet.
Well, you could, but they're not going to because their recruiting class is still ranked very high, even though I think the decommits are going to roll in any day now. So other rivalry games. Kentucky-Louisville is interesting to me because you talk about a rivalry that absolutely 360 degrees 180 degrees. Which one flips? 180 is a flip. Because
180.
360 just comes all the way back around.
Yes.
Turned 180 degrees. Kentucky's won, 5 in a row, 6 in a row, something like that. They've won a lot in a row. But now Louisville is like a fringe playoff contender about to possibly win a conference championship, and Kentucky's garbage. Like, look at this. This is a huge – this shows me in this day and age, if you have a coach who you think is on the hot seat, if you have a coach who you think maybe you should get rid of, you never give him the extra year. Always pull the trigger. Because look at Louisville. They were dead. They were done. They were finished. They had a bad coach. And last year they made the decision, hey, let's change. Now they're going to be 11-1. They're going to be almost in playoff contention just because they got a coach who came in and used the transfer portal. Yes.
Katie can go first.
Did we say that about Harbaugh earlier in the year about them not pulling trig and how it rewarded them?
Well, I don't think you can use Harbaugh in any example because of the massive cheating scandal that No, you can do that, but that Harbaugh, like, we have evidence that when he was on the hot seat, they certainly changed their approach. I think that's fair to say. Yeah,
no, I'm just trying to think of like older takes and how.
No, what's that? Hold on, Katie. Hold on, Katie. What, did somebody fart in your room, Jack? Oh, who farted? Who farted? Did I fart out of my mouth? Did I fart out of my mouth, Jack?
So you did not fart. I actually understood your point completely clear, and it was a great little punch. But I ducked out of the way. Kind of like I ducked out of the way, and I just want to remind you. Every second, it feels as if, oh, wait, no, Connor Stalions has actually been providing science for much longer than he's been within the Michigan football program. And they had signs for Ohio State's game against them in 2017. So what is it?
You just believe every single word that's ever been said.
No, that's from Coach Zach Smith.
Oh, that's who we're believing now?
Yikes.
There's tweets. There's images of games where he's on the sideline. They went viral a month ago. Like Notre Dame, I think, 2018, 19?
Yeah, from 2018, yep.
Non-Barstool people.
Yep. Thank you, Katie. Katie Stats, Katie Images for that one.
Whose side are you on, Katie?
The truth.
The truth, yep.
Katie,
and whoever buys more shirts.
Katie Stats is a truth stat teller, and she just says what she sees. Can I ask you about
seeker, a patriot?
The Kentucky Louisville game, Brandon. We've been, first of all, I'm going to pull a page out of your playbook. Does anybody remember who on this panel said that Louisville was going to have a really good year, and everyone laughed?
I
think we all did because their schedule was so garbage.
Their schedule, it's very important.
I had a clip that went.
I was the wrong person. I made fun of them. I was wrong about them. I thought they'd be very disappointing. So,
well, regardless, it's okay, Katie. But
it's okay, Katie. But I say it. It's just okay.
Right. If Mark Stoops, and Katie mentioned this on Saturday night, and Kentucky fans are like #done with Mark Stoops right now. If he loses to Louisville, even though that Louisville is going to be in the ACC championship, does that make his seat so hot that we could see him getting fired in the offseason? Or you think they wait? No, like you think that it's like they're going to
Stoops is good. They're not. Stoops should have a job for life at Kentucky.
Yeah,
he should have a job for life because while he hasn't gotten them to the next level, he's gotten them to a level nobody else has gotten them to. Yep. And usually by October, Kentucky fans are just waiting for Midnight Madness. So Stoops should have a job for life at Kentucky because who the fuck else are they going to get?
Okay, fair.
Who is Syracuse going to go get?
Manny Diaz.
Yeah, but Syracuse hasn't. But Syracuse doesn't have a coach who's been like. What Stoops got 2 10-win seasons the last 3 years or 4 years? Like Stoops has broken Kentucky through to a level consistently they'd never been at for a consistent amount of time. Babers didn't do that. He had one 10-win year, and then that was it.
Yeah, no, I guess I'm looking not at who they would get next in the program. Like if Syracuse thinks they can go get someone different, I feel like anyone can go get someone different.
Here's the thing, because a lot of people do ask the question, who do you think you're going to go get? Who do you think there's always somebody. These jobs are very, very valuable. These jobs, there are a million coaches out there dying to have the Syracuse job. Doesn't sound like it, but there are. There are a lot of coaches out there that would love the opportunity to go to Syracuse, to go to Kentucky. But as far as Kentucky goes, like they got a guy 10 years ago. They lucked into him, and he is the perfect guy for that program. They're never going to get anybody better than him for that program, whereas I think other teams can do it. Yes.
Where would you rank that? Obviously, Dabo's had more success, but with Kentucky fans making fun of Mark's or getting mad at Mark Stoops versus Dabo and Clemson fans, like
not on the same planet because Kentucky fans care about football because of Mark Stoops. However, everything Clemson has done the last 10 years is solely due to Dabo. They were nothing. They were nobody. I know they won a title in 1981. You know what else happened in 1981? A whole lot of shit nobody remembers because it was 1980 goddamn one. Okay? So everything Clemson has been for a decade, Dabo did that. And that's national title good, not just 8-4 good. Yes, Casey.
No, I was going to say it's the same thing that we've all been saying. Like, if you hate your head coach who brought you multiple national titles, you're an asshole.
So my voice is going out. Would you like to tell the people about Rocket Money?
Are you drinking tea and honey?
No, he's not. Of course he's not. You're not giving it to him.
And iced tea doesn't count. Rocket Money.
Thank you. You can cancel your own one of the subscriptions at Rocket Money. Somebody want to talk about that?
Yeah, I will talk about that because I mentioned that I'm making dinner from HelloFresh. I also used Rocket Money just today because I was looking at my credit card for something for a reimbursement for one time when I was on the road. And I looked and it was like a subscription. This is a true story, a subscription that I had absolutely no idea that I had been paying for. And what I realized is that I use a little machine that has a female's name in my kitchen. And at some point I had probably said yes to one of her requests that signed me up for something that I just didn't realize that I had been paying for. Rocket Money helped me cancel it because it told me that it was doing it. And then I just clicked cancel subscription, gave them some information. They canceled it for me. I didn't have to call anybody. I didn't have to email anybody. I didn't have to go to that specific website and do it. Rocket Money does it. And also it helps you budget. Most importantly, it is free. If you go to rocketmoney.com/rough, you can set it up. It can help you with your credit scores. It can show you what your credit card balance should be, what your budget should be. But most importantly, it helps those unwanted subscriptions because anybody who spends a lot of time on their phone or on a tablet or a machine that has a name, you accidentally sign up for stuff all the time, or you sign up for something meaning to cancel it and you forget. Go to rocketmoney.com/rough and they will help you. And I'll be honest, Brandon, you have 4 kids. You know how important money is around the holidays. Every penny counts.
Yep. And shout out Rocket Money. Incredible company name.
Oh yeah.
Just an incredible company name.
And it used to be named Truebill. And then they rebranded to Rocket Money and now it's everywhere because it's like, well, yeah, Rocket Money Truebill sounds like something that I don't really want to be on. I don't want to know what my bills are. Rocket Money is fantastic.
A couple other games. North Carolina State. Now, we're not going to spend a lot of time on this game because both of these teams are irrelevant. But if North Carolina State wins this game, they would finish 9-3. And I'm going to go ahead and say this. If they finish 9-3, I think it would be the quietest 9-3 in the history of college football. The history of college football. I know Casey's what's her name down there? Katie's been telling us for weeks, better watch NC State. But neither Jack nor Casey listened to her, okay? So I'm just here to say Katie looks like she was right, and I'm the only one who's been on that train the whole year, so credit to me.
It's a 3-point spread. Again.
Yeah, you're probably going to lose.
I'm shit terrified. The way you were talking about Mississippi State Ole Miss is how I feel, and I'm in the Ole Miss version of it. I think UNC is a better team, but it's a rivalry game. Even though they lost their top running back who has 250 yards. If you're top running, that's whatever. No, it scares the shit out of me. And the season is absolutely fucked if we lose. That's going to be really disappointing.
All right, we got to get out of here soon, but Kate, what's her in the top right?
What about Alabama, Auburn, Texas A&M, LSU?
Well, that's not a rivalry game, and LSU is going to kill them, and Alabama's going to kill them. Do y'all want to talk about those? Or LSU's going to kill? Did I say LSU or A&M? LSU's going to kill A&M. Alabama's going to kill Auburn.
Oregon needs to be careful. Obviously, we talked about that briefly.
You say that, and I agree. They do need to be careful because Oregon State's not a bad team. But boy, did that loss of Oregon State to Washington, did that take the wind out of the sails of this game? Like this is still a dangerous game, but this would have been a gigantic game if Oregon State beat Washington.
And wait, who won it? Oregon State won it last year, right?
Yeah, 38-30. I think they came back and beat them. Like
Oregon has quite the score. now that I remember it correctly, they have quite the score to settle because I believe Oregon State, there was some stat about the end of that game that Oregon just fell apart and Oregon State really took over and won it. So if I'm Oregon, that's obviously we're playing for a national championship at this point in the season, which is amazing. But on that road, we get to settle a score from last year that left a nasty taste in our mouth.
Well, and
Speaking of
also,
selling, oh yeah, go ahead.
well, I was going to say, and also Oregon State is going to want to send Oregon out of the conference with like a big fuck you too.
Yeah, but I don't. They're doing it in Eugene. Like that's going to be. It's going to.
Well,
be really
I think
tough.
Oregon's going to win, and I guess I don't know if it's selfishly or not. I want Oregon to win because I want to see the Oregon-Washington rematch in the Pac-12. I mean, Arizona is good, but Arizona-Washington doesn't have the same pop to me because Oregon and whoever wins the Pac-12 championship, if it's Oregon-Washington, goes to the college football playoff.
So, one other rivalry game that I'd like to mention: Clemson has a chance to right a wrong that happened last year because last year we all know South Carolina was given signals by that cheating scourge that is Michigan. That's the only reason they beat Tennessee and Clemson at the end. Now Clemson gets to set that right.
Yeah, no, that it goes back to what we were talking about at the beginning of the show, and I definitely was not mentioning Ole Miss knocking Mississippi State out of the college football playoff. If you can wreck your rival's chance to be in the college football playoff, you could lose every single game of the season, and it's still unbelievable. I'm sorry. I didn't want to bring up old shit. It was just a point that I was making for
You
rivalry.
didn't want to bring up bullshit. You've done it twice.
At least you were in the conversation to be in the college football playoff.
What is that? Why are you doing Texas Longhorns? Why are you doing that?
Texas Tech, Texas. Another game to talk
That's
about.
not a ride. Texas Tech is garbage.
If yes, but rivalry weeks shit happens. If Texas Tech beats Texas, all hell breaks loose for who.
But this is not a rivalry. Texas doesn't give a shit about Texas Tech.
That's an interesting game that I think a lot of people.
They lost last year to them.
When Texas, it's totally different Texas. Totally different Texas. And meanwhile, we got to talk about the Big 12. We got to talk about the Big 12 real quick. Oklahoma State, Texas, and whoever Texas is rival. I guess it's Oklahoma now, but maybe Texas, Oklahoma, whatever. Iowa State and their rival, like all the Kansas State. None of their rivals played in this week. Every other conference treats this as rivalry week except the Big 12, which just fucks off during this week.
Yeah, Bedlam should be played this weekend.
Bedlam should be this weekend. Correct.
Absolutely.
Kansas State should be this weekend.
The only issue with that is that Texas' biggest rivalry in the Big 12 and even now in the SEC probably is still going to be OU. You can't have that.
Whatever. Make one of those games this week.
I do agree with that.
But they got to keep Texas Oklahoma where it is for that damn fair.
I will say though, I mean, again, Texas Tech is not like a big time storied rivalry nationally, but in the state, like that is an important game for both of those teams. Like Texas Tech would kill to sit.
That's a one-way rivalry. That's one of those one-way rivalries.
I agree with that.
I don't hate that, but it's also, Texas Tech saying, hey, we'll beat you and send you off to the SEC. But it's also goes back to like what we were saying about, Tennessee fans losing to Missouri, even though it's not in the same state. Like they just don't do it. Like Texas fans think they are way too good to lose to Texas Tech. They've done it, but I don't think that it's just like a rivalry that like you just say, well, it doesn't count because it's not one of the big name ones. Like in state, that does have bragging rights for sure.
I think it's Texas is like secretly scared. It's okay, cool, we did it, move on. They're not really using it as a rivalry, but like it's you do not lose to Texas Tech type.
Yes.
So they did it last year, so.
So I guess my Thanksgiving exercise is probably not going to happen because Brandon's dying now.
I'm not dying. You do it. I got to tell y'all something. I have to go to Best Buy before they close, and I have to buy a new TV because I'm not allowing Ben Mintz to watch my good TV.
So yeah, that's fair. You could Amazon Prime one to. I don't know if that's a free ad or not, but
no, I still like to go to the store and pick it out.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't like ordering big things like TVs. I like to be able to look at it and ask the guy, hey, is this busy? So I like to do that.
Well, we did it for Halloween where we did like either ors. If you need to go, I can do it with Katie and Jack, or I could do it.
No, I'll do it. We'll do your Thanksgiving thing. Go ahead. How many questions are there?
There are 5.
We can go till 7:30.
Oh, well then I actually have 7, but I narrowed it down to 5 because I thought you would say no.
Let's do 7. Go ahead.
We also have categories too. Don't forget about that.
No, we're not. We don't have to do that this week.
I don't think we
like
have to do categories.
Okay.
Yeah, we can skip that this way. I mean,
I actually didn't process that we needed to do that this week.
yeah, we were condensing, so we're going to condense.
Yeah, so this is my Thanksgiving version. Brandon, I'm going to give you a choice. Would you like to start with your like the Brandon Walker personalized questions first, or the overall, not Brandon Walker, like individual questions, or just this year's college football questions? Because I've got 2 categories.
Okay, we'll go with this year's college football questions.
Okay. In 2023, who do you think the most thankful fan base is this year? You can take that however it is. Who is the most thankful fan base in this season?
I mean, I got to think, and we can work through this, and we can do several, but I got to think Louisville's counting their stars, right? Like Louisville's got it where they were last year with Satterfield, who's just a garbage coach. They were done. They were dead. Nothing was going on in the program. They reach out, bring a guy home, bring in one of theirs, and all of a sudden they're 11-1. All of a sudden they're playing the ACC championship game for the first time ever. Like they got to be like sitting there, the LeBron thing. Like I can't believe this is my life. Like that's what Louisville fans have got to feel like this year. I'm sure there's others, but Louisville's the one that comes to my mind immediately.
Jack, do you have one?
Washington fans have to feel pretty good. They're probably looking around like Brandon just said and said, "Oh my God, this is really something." I wouldn't say it's a magical season, but things weren't great a few years ago, and they're in the national championship hunt right now, and that's the first time in a while. Obviously, they've made a playoff, so it's nothing brand new, but they must be feeling pretty good.
Katie?
I'll add one more.
Oh.
I'm not saying it's the whole fan base or even a lot of them, but there will be between 5 and 10 households in the state of Oklahoma this weekend that their Thanksgiving prayer to bless their food will include the fact that Lincoln Riley has 5 losses. They will thank God that that bitch out west lost 5 times.
That's fair. Katie, do you have a different one?
I don't know if the fan base is bought in enough on football yet to realize what they have, but I think Arizona, like they're very much still basketball focused, but at the beginning of the year, no one saw that coming. That was an insane turnaround. They could be in the Pac-12 championship. Like it's a football school now. Let's do a few more years before I say football school, but it's a great season. I say Arizona.
In my own little world, A&M for firing Jimbo, but I think that Georgia fans I know that they have a lot to be thankful for every year, but there's probably a very thankful aspect of Stetson Bennett being gone. He won back-to-back national titles, and that Carson Beck is as good as he is and looks like right now he could potentially be a more athletic and better quarterback than Stetson Bennett, who won them multiple national titles. I would assume Georgia fans are very thankful for that.
I have something to say about Georgia fans.
Uh-oh.
Georgia fans can fuck all the way off. They can fuck 100% of the way off, because last week I was extolling Georgia, and I was saying, man, it's got to be sweet to be a Georgia fan. They never lose. And there were probably 150 quote tweets saying, yeah, but we went through the desert for so long. Yeah, but it was so bad. Yeah, but we had so much heartbreak. It was so hard. It was the toughest place to be a fan. You whiny pussies. You lying idiots. Georgia averaged 10 wins a year for decades. I mean, decades. Did you reach the top? No, but you were scraping the top. You were right there at the top. You realize how many of us would suck 30 dicks to be Georgia over the last 20 years? You gotta shut the fuck up. My God, you guys have been great for decades. You can't act like, oh my God, poor us. We didn't win a national title for 40 years. We're getting fucking line, buddy.
So what you're saying is they're not the most thankful fan base of 2023.
No, they're assholes. They're douchebags. They're like, yeah, but we earned it. We earned it by going through Mark Richt. Mark Richt won. He went like 115-5.
Okay, so you don't like my answer. It's fine. I noticed the chat said a couple other ones. Texas for finally being good and finally maybe being hashtag back. Florida State, Mike Norvell being a good coach. Great answers. Okay. The flip side, who do you think is the least thankful for the 2023 season?
Michigan
USC
State.
fans. Oh yeah, Michigan State. Yeah, that's a good one. USC fans can't be feeling great.
Yeah. They're in the mode where they got this incredible gift for Christmas last year. but suddenly everything's breaking on it. It doesn't work quite as well as they thought. The box had it like being a 70-inch TV, but it's like a 32-inch Zenith. Like they got to be at least thinking about store credit at this point.
What about Penn State?
I think Penn State's a great answer because they, every year seems to be like, oh, it's Penn State's year to beat Ohio State, beat Michigan, but they needed to get Sean Clifford out, right? Like that was a big thing. Like we need the next guy. Drew Aller is a young quarterback. I get that. But like the James Franklin decisions in both of those games, like you can't be thankful for that. Like you've got to.
No, I'm a little woke on this one too. Pour me some sad drink because we only go 11-2 every year and can't beat two of the best teams in the country. Like I'm not going to hold a telethon for Penn State. I understand that Penn State isn't where Penn State wants to be. You know who else isn't where they want to be? Every fucking body. Okay. Again, get in line. 11-2 every year. Sign me up for that.
Oh, for sure. By the way, I had no idea that my questions would bring out such vitriol from Brandon.
These are great questions.
I do. I've really taken pride in my holiday questions, Jack. I loved my Halloween.
I can't wait until the Christmas questions.
I got it. I got a New Year's version. I got all the version. Okay. Who do you think this year would be the most thankful for the playoff expansion?
Louisville?
Well, I mean, it's clear the loser. I think the loser of Ohio State, Michigan is out. So I think the loser of Ohio State, Michigan would have a beautiful safety net. And this game would, frankly, it wouldn't feel as important as it does. I mean,
Alabama's not a bad answer. Because if
I get, you know what, this is crazy given what I just said. I mean, Penn State would make the playoff. They would be in next year. As of now, they would be in the playoff. Correct? They're in the top 12.
Yeah, they're 11th, right? I think they're 11th.
There you go. Yeah, and Alabama, even if they lose to Georgia, would still be in. So Alabama's an easy answer.
Yeah, Alabama. I still think Florida State is going to be in the playoff if they go undefeated. But if hell breaks loose and Alabama beats Georgia and all that, like Florida State, again, I think it would be completely unfair to leave them out. I understand the argument that they're not going to be as good without Jordan Travis, but like that to me is if there was 12 teams, they wouldn't be sitting there wondering like, could we go undefeated and win the ACC championship and be undefeated in the Power Five and still get left out because our quarterback got hurt? That would suck.
The
most thing about Florida State is as nice it might be for them to make the 12-team playoff, like without Jordan Travis, they know in their heart they're not going to win it. Like they know that their dreams of what they could have had, they're over. They're like, even if they make the 14 playoff, they're over. They cannot win the national title. And that's kind of suck. What?
Ole Miss would be thankful for a 12-team playoff.
Okay.
Hey, Brandon, you asked for this expansion.
I didn't know. Huh?
You asked for this
Playoff
expansion. You're a fan of it.
Do I need to put the gloves back on? We putting the gloves back on?
Well, no, I'm just saying. You asked for the expansion.
Right,
Texas would be.
And you had a moment there where you said, oh, man, this Ohio State-Michigan game wouldn't be as good as it might be.
Casey, continue. He's landing too many blows right now.
Yeah, I know he is. He's
Stop the ropes. Give me the corner. Give me the corner and cut me.
He's got you on the ropes big time. Okay, who, as a national, unbiased Brandon Walker college football expert that you are, which player are you most thankful for in 2023? Who's brought you the most joy?
I think it's Jaden Daniels.
It's a good answer.
Like I think he has a chance to save the Heisman Trophy. I think he has a chance for the voters finally to reward the very best player and not the best player on the best team. And I think that's a trap that voters sometimes fall into, and they fall into it too often. And Jaden Daniels winning the Heisman Trophy, going 9-3 and winning the Heisman Trophy, kind of saves the Heisman. It shows that this isn't an individual award for individual excellence. This isn't an award for the 4 playoff teams and their quarterbacks. So I think it's Jaden Daniels.
Jack, Katie, do you guys have a different answer?
Carson Beck is mine because thankfully I have at least one take that I was right about this season, and Carson has been phenomenal, lived up to the hype, and I've been driving the Carson Beck train. And so shout out to CB15.
Katie?
I don't really have one. I'm trying to scroll. There's got to be some guy who we just like had too much.
Tez
You know what?
Walker, maybe?
I don't know if he played. Can I put Connor Stallions as my favorite player? Or most
Yeah,
people?
no,
Yes.
Just the drama. I'm not saying I support him, Brandon. Just the drama has been
Nah,
fun.
he deserves a statue outside that stadium.
He'll have a hell of a Hollywood movie. I could go multiple.
Can I just real quick, Jack? Can you just scroll your camera to the right or the left to prove that Dave's not holding you at gunpoint?
Oh, I mean,
He's in the room next to me. I can hear. There's no Dave.
Dave's where's Dave right now? Miami or something? I mean, I don't know where he is.
Are you in Miami?
I wish.
He-
It's
he-
raining. It's 38 degrees in New York City. I wish I was in Miami. I'll tell you that much.
I'm the weirdo that just loves this weather. I'm most thankful for Michael Penix Jr. because I think like the way that he was treated, like, you know, when he had all the expectations at Indiana and then he fell off and it was like, okay, he's really not as good as we thought. And obviously transferred to Washington. And the fact that he's, you know, in the Heisman race, could be going to the college football playoff. Like, he's been so much fun to watch. Bo Nix is not a bad answer, but like the fact that he got a second chance at another program, and a program that wasn't at the top of their conference, and just got a good offensive coordinator, a good coach. Love Michael Penix. Okay. Brandon, I feel like you're going to have an opinion on this. Big time. Who would, of all the head coaches, currently head coaches in college football, whose Thanksgiving dinner would you most want to attend?
Not Sam Pittman's. I do want to eat. I think Brett Bielema definitely has cheeseburgers at his Thanksgiving dinner, right? Brett Bielema has cheeseburgers, smoked sausage, bratwurst, wings. He's got like the best spread ever. I think I'm going to Bielema.
I think it's got to be somewhere in like the deep South, because I want like a deep South Thanksgiving. And I feel like, you know, the Sabins probably have someone to cook their Thanksgiving dinner for them, but you know, Miss Terry probably cooks up a mean green bean casserole.
You think Miss Terry cooks?
Yeah.
I don't think Miss Terry's had to cook in 20 years.
See, here's the thing. I don't think she's had to, and I think she probably has help when she doesn't want to. But if she does want to dust off the kitchen mitts, she can whip up a hell of a meal. You know she can.
All right. What else?
You want me to? I didn't know if you want me to keep going. Do you need to go?
I'm good.
Okay. Which college football memory are you most thankful for? Can be any in your life. If you like, first
So
one.
my
that comes to
favorite
mind.
college football memory is not one that you would expect. It's actually it's 1996. Mississippi State was like 3-6 at the time. Alabama was number 8 in the country. I had not seen Mississippi State beat Alabama in my life. They last done it in 1980. I was 1. They had not beaten Alabama in my entire life, and I hated Alabama. And 1994, we had them beat 25-15 with 3 minutes left. Jay Barker scored 2 touchdowns, beat us. 1996, I had a girlfriend in high school. She had great tickets. We were in the club seats. We won 17-16. First time I ever seen beat Alabama. Had a great experience in the parking lot and the traffic afterwards. Just a terrific night for me. Terrific night. Terrific night.
I did not expect to have to relive a Brandon Walker sexual encounter on this podcast.
Oh, no, I didn't say it was sexual.
Huh?
I didn't say it was sexual.
Move on before our memories or our brains start.
She asked me for memories.
I know. I'm talking to her.
I did. Mine would be A&M winning the 1998 Big 12 championship. I remember it, watching it with my dad. I was old enough to remember the game, but like not old enough to like be jaded yet. My dog at the time, he was a Sheltie, which is a miniature collie, which is what Miss Reveley is. His name was Cody. He was running around. That's the last time A&M's won anything other than the Heisman Trophy. So
Oh, wait a minute. Reveley's not a Sheltie. She's a full collie, right?
that's what I said.
Sheltie's
Reveley
a miniature version of Reveley.
A Sheltie, which is a miniature collie.
Shelties are good dogs.
Shelties are great. And Cody, he lived until he was 15 years old, and he was a big time A&M football fan. And so my memories, A&M hasn't won a whole bunch in my life, but that 1998 Big 12 championship, watching it with my dad was awesome. Jack, Katie, do you have one?
it's not on the field, and I know this is so cliche and whatever. It's so dumb, but the first college football live show I went to after COVID and getting on the stage and just seeing the crowds from massive and massive is like the first time people saw crowds. Everyone was screaming. When people left, everyone was throwing themselves on Dave's car like he was the fucking Beatles. I think
Do you
guys
remember where it was?
Yeah, wasn't it in Chicago?
No, this
That's
is
the
at
first
least
one?
my memory is Michigan, Washington, 20.
That's right. She's right.
21.
That was early. That was before Notre Dame. She's right.
It was in
Yep.
Ann Arbor?
Yeah, it was the
That was
first
my
time we went
first
to Ann
live
Arbor.
one.
Huh. I didn't realize we'd been to Ann Arbor 3 times.
That was in week 2 of 2021.
And
and
then
then-
we went to Chicago
Yeah,
for
that was either the next week or 2 weeks after that.
huh. Damn, that's crazy.
Speaking
Jack-
of, we will be in Ann Arbor this weekend,
Yes, we will.
and I'm just going to go ahead and call it. I know the spot we're going to be in. I think we're going to have one of the biggest crowds. I think we'll have the biggest crowd we've ever had.
Easily. The problem is, and it's not a problem because that location is great. Like in 2018, when we did a live show there, we packed it because it's like, it's narrow, it's connected to that house. So it's like the overflow is going to be wild.
Going to be big. Going to be
Going to
big.
be big.
Yeah.
And then also we are streaming it live from the house afterwards. So we're not going into the game. We're all streaming it the entire time from the little house outside the big house, which I'm going to be curious. Do you think that we're going to be able to hear what happens inside the stadium before it happens on the stream because we're that close?
Well, I doubt it because I don't know how many Ohio State fans will be there, and I don't know if the cheers will be loud enough to get to the house.
Okay. I mean, I have more, but I think it's a good place to end. We just promoted. We're Black Friday, Cyber Monday,
Mhm.
all those things.
Yep. All right.
You guys have
My
any
voice is about
upset-
shot anyway.
Any upset alerts or upset takes for this weekend? Last question, only question.
It's just rivalry week. I think everybody who has a number beside their name should be on upset alert.
Yeah.
It sounds like a cop out, but it's not.
No, it's not. And it goes back to what I've always said about rivalry games, whether they are like nationally paid attention to or just you and your rival are paying attention to them. There is nothing better than beating your rival. There's nothing worse than losing to your rival, especially if there are playoff implications on the line, which there are multiple games this weekend. I know I was giving Brandon shit earlier, but in reality, like looking forward to Thursday, Friday, Saturday, there are so many games that have those implications on the line. And that's what makes college football great. And that's why, Thanksgiving rivalry week is unmatched.
All right, let's shut her down. I won on points against Jack. All right, that's it. We're shutting her
Black
down.
Friday, Cyber Monday.
Yes, Chef.
Unanimous or
Jeremy
split
Allen White.
decision?
Sexy.
Huh? Oh, it was close.
Unanimous
And I'm
or-
not going to lie, it was close. And it might even been a controversial decision, but
Split
I won on
decision?
points.
All right, I'll take a split.
All right, that's it. We'll be back
YKP
Saturday
boys,
night.
we up.